In today's video, I'm going to show you how to start your own e-commerce store. We're going to cover the first 3 steps for you to have the perfect product and you can see what product you're selling. Hi guys, welcome to my very first YouTube channel. My name is Takura and I'm an e-commerce entrepreneur. I have over 10 stores running currently in Zimbabwe and I'm on a mission to teach everyone how to start their own e-commerce stores. On a bigger scale, my sister and I are trying to make $1 million by the end of the year, so you can follow our journey on TikTok if that's not why you're here. But anyways, teaching you how to start your own e-commerce store. So today we are going to cover 3 things. I'm going to teach you how to select a product. After choosing your own product, I'm going to show you how to find suppliers. After finding suppliers, I'm then going to show you how you can choose the correct pricing in pricing tips that I've never had. So, starting off with choosing product. In e-commerce, almost everything sells. But for you to enjoy the process of selling anything, the first thing is you have to be passionate about what you're selling about. So find something that you really like, something that you're interested in. Usually when I select products, I usually go through a series of questions like, if I had money right now, what would I buy? If I wanted to buy a gift for my mom, what would I buy? For my sister or for my brother, if I wanted to buy a gift for my friends, what would I buy? You tend to see that there are certain things that you yourself buy. You are a customer of something. So instead of always being on the customer end, you could start supplying that thing because you already know what type of person buys that thing and you already know what they are looking for. You know all those complaints and you're complaining that these people have poor service. Now you can rectify those. You can start correcting all the problems that you had when you're dealing with other people. My very first store that I opened sells socks because it's still currently running. It's because I used to buy socks a lot. Major reasons just because I'm lazy of washing my own clothes, but we are selling socks and I know how the socks market looks like because I'm a buyer. It doesn't need technical knowledge about it, etc. People are looking for drip socks, are looking for Nike socks, which they can easily find and in all assortment of colors, free delivery. Those are the things, those were my pain point in the store that just sold that. So I would say that the first question is, what are you passionate about and are you a client of that thing? Go buy that thing. I think you would have found a winning product. So I would say that that's the first thing. There are other channels that you can still use for you to find the winning product. So this could include things like going through Facebook, going through TikTok, going through Instagram and starting to see what sort of ads are you seeing. You know, when you're scrolling through your feed and an ad appears, you're like, what is this? But sometimes you are really interested in that. Those are the type of things that you are probably willing to sell. Another sub rule that you have when you're choosing your product is try by all means to not choose a product with a verified supplier. For example, if you wanted to sell food, you can sell food, but you can't sell pizza because pizza is sold by Pizza Inn, is sold by Pizza Hut. You can't sell uniforms because NB sells uniforms. You get what I'm trying to say? There are certain products that are so niche and they have suppliers that are well known. Butter sells school shoes type of thing. So what I'm trying to say is find products that do not have verified suppliers. And there are a lot. It's not like it's a complicated research. There's no verified supplier for watches, for wallets, for hair products, for makeup kits, for satchels, for there are a lot of things that don't have verified suppliers, especially things that you buy on a daily basis. So I'll say that is the guide of choosing the product. It shouldn't be that complicated. Basically a 30 minutes process. Find something that you want to buy yourself, something that you like. Make sure that it doesn't have a verified supplier, and there you have it. You now have your product. So step 2 now is after you have your product, you want to find suppliers of that product. So in this case, it will be either you do it in person, so that's you going into town because town probably has the cheapest suppliers other than you going to buy. So you can go into town, just roam around, see what's available. So when you see the suppliers that are available, try to establish a personal relationship with them, get their phone number, talk to them on WhatsApp, know them on a first name basis. If going to town is such a hectic deal for you, then you can probably do it via Facebook Marketplace. So go to Facebook Marketplace or even TikTok because it's rising up just now. Go there, search the product that you're looking for, find suppliers, start talking to them, start knowing them on a first name basis, get to know how they are doing, just get to become friends with them. So that when you're friends with your suppliers, everything is easier. People usually recommend that you buy your products from China, Dubai, South Africa because they are cheaper. It's true that they are cheaper, but when you're starting your own e-commerce store, because you don't know whether the product you chose is actually a winning product or not, so you can't just go ahead and buy stock. Because when it comes to supply chain, you want a short supply chain, like a very, very short supply chain. So the shortest supply chain you can have is if you have stock in your house and you're just doing fulfillments and doing deliveries for the people. That's the shortest supply chain, and you can do that when you buy products from China, Dubai, and South Africa. But before we go there, we need to make sure that the product that we are going to buy stock on is correct. That's why we need to use some sort of drop shipping type of model and sell from local suppliers. So how do we then sell from local suppliers? Since you have established friendship with them, you go there, you ask them for permission to take pictures of their product. Everyone will allow you to take pictures of their product. Like, you have to go out of your way to mess up so they don't allow you. You take pictures of the product, you start marketing those pictures, and whenever you get a client, you go to your supplier, you buy the product from your supplier, then you deliver to the client. That will be easy. Then after a month or so, when you've seen that orders are coming in, that's when you do the China, Dubai, South Africa route. I'll have a separate video on that, actually detailing how we can have suppliers from China, especially how we can have suppliers from South Africa, and how we can have suppliers from Dubai. But now that we have established on how we can get suppliers, we now have local suppliers, we now have our product. The next thing now is to determine what you're actually going to do about pricing. So pricing is a very tricky concept because that's why you're all into business. That's where you make money. So how do we go about pricing? So the first thing that you have to do is calculate all your costs. So the first cost you're going to have is the cost of your product. So find out how much your supplier is selling the things. So your supplier could be selling your product like $2, $3. That's like the cost of acquiring the product, is it? Then we need to find the cost of transport for you to get the product, not for you to do deliveries. Deliveries could be an extra charge. How do we get the product into your hands? So, for example, you might have a supplier in town. That's you going into town, getting the supply, going back, then that's transport to and fro. So that's the cost of transport. So find out like how much cost of transport is, depending on what you're using. You could be using combis, you could be using like your own car, but there's a cost for you to get the product, plus the cost of product in itself. Then the next cost that you get, because you're going to be an e-commerce store, a very niche store selling premium products, you have to capitalize on that packaging. Like, I would even argue that packaging is the most important part of an e-commerce store, more than the product in itself. So packaging, you can calculate it one by one, or you could easily message our channel sponsor Boxify. Not that Boxify is a channel sponsor, it's just a company of mine that I'm just trying to promote right now. But at Boxify, we specialize in high-end packaging. So what you do is you send us a message on Instagram or TikTok or even WhatsApp. The number is below right now. So when you send us a message, you can tell us what you sell, then we'll tell you packaging options that you have, from the cheap one to the really expensive one, and you can see with vivid pictures on what each of those packaging will look like. The packaging is customized, that means you have the logo of your shop and all that stuff, etc. The quotations are all for free. So what I would encourage you is send the quotations to Boxify, and one of the sales rep will respond to you. When they do respond to you, you at least have a quotation of how much packaging is. Now you can add it to your cost. So you now have cost of product, cost of transportation to get the product, cost of packaging. Then the next thing that you want to have is cost of advertising and marketing. So cost of advertising and marketing is usually like 1/10 of product. So that means if you get a product for $10, you are most likely going to spend $1 every time you sell that $10 product. So that's like the cost of marketing and advertising, because we are going to be marketing on Facebook and Instagram, so running ads, and those are roughly the costs. So now that you have all these costs, you add up the cost, then you get a total. Let's say roughly your total right now is like $20. So you now have a total of like $20. You then decide on your pricing. There are so many ways to like do your pricing. Other people just go like, my cost is $20, so my price is now $40. Like, you can go in whatever way you want to go, but the math is simple, that the price that you use needs to cover all your expenses and give you profit. What I would say is, there are other things that you then have to consider, like, is delivery on the side or not? Because if you're doing free delivery, that means the cost of delivery needs to be accounted for. into your pricing, then you can add it as well. Then are you going to be selling things in bundles, pairs, or etc? Those are like things that you have when you're choosing your own pricing. Now that you have your actual price, we now have everything in order. I think we have completed like phase 1 of starting your e-commerce store, because you now know, for example, like taking you through the steps that we did. Let's say I want to start my own jewelry company. We'll be selling necklaces for couples. So this company is called Ep1. And what we're going to do is firstly find suppliers. So we'll go on Facebook Marketplace, search for matching necklaces. We get these suppliers, we screenshot, we start texting them. After we text them, we get product pictures, we post the product pictures, we calculate the cost. So that's the cost of product, the cost of going into town, the cost of advertising, and the cost of packaging. And all in all, these are our costs, and we calculate the profit, and this will be our profit. And now that I'm ready, I can see that I'll be selling these jewelry like $30 a pair, and now I can start deciding on what I want to do. So yeah, that's step 1. I think in the next video we'll cover step 2. Now that we have the actual product, what are the next steps? Like, how do we go about in setting up the store? If you want to watch that video, you can just maybe click here. But otherwise, it's been a pleasure having you on my first video. Probably shit as well, but I'm sure with time it will improve. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, leave any comments that you have below, and don't forget to message Boxify ZW. Thank you. Sayonara.